Welcome back to another episode of Papa D and Matt J's Ultimate Shenanigans. Now, in this episode, we're going to show you a bit of a rescue maneuver which Papa D and I have done in the past in much worse conditions, in much more dire conditions. We end up doing it here today. Wait until a bit later in the video. We started with a beautiful day. Had a burger at one of our favorite shacks, burger and beer, and then the wind picked up. We ended up taking Cataclysmo out and just ripping around for a bit, enjoying the fantastic view. And now, to be clear, we didn't have our GoPros at the time. This is from last summer. But we ended up using my phone, and I wasn't planning on making production out of it. But then things kind of started getting more and more interesting as the day went by. So we ended up having a good time. We have obviously another boat on shore of another island, which is ahead of us where we're heading now. And it didn't take long before we ended up capsizing. And with that, as you can see in a moment, we did manage to reap our mainsail on this boat on Cataclysmo, which happens, and that's why you don't want to jump both feet on the sail, but sometimes there is nowhere else to go, and these are older boats and older sails. Like I say, we're having a good time, no big deal. We have another boat. We can get this sail fixed, and it'll get fixed in no time, in a few days after this little mishap. Part of the issue we end up dealing with here, we're navigating in narrows, and we end up having to go upwind. This boat ends up underperforming because I didn't want to keep working with the mainsail on it, and so I was just sailing with a jib, which can be tricky on the Hobies to get the speed you need to be able to tack, etc., etc. It's a good practice to have the understanding of how to and the limitations of your boat in this kind of condition, especially on a catamaran. But we managed to get back to shore, and then Papa D ends up hopping on his boat, and we decide to slowly make our way back. After a bit of shenanigans, we wanted to see if it is best maybe that Papa D ends up towing my boat, and we kind of mess around with some of that. So as you can see here, a bit of just kind of maneuvers just to get us back to shore, and from there on the adventure continues. Stay tuned. So at this point we are still navigating. I'm just with my jib, and Papa D has got both his sails up, and we're just hoping that we're just going to be able to go upwind against the current and make our way. But as time goes by, we start seeing that this is a bit more complicated for me to make good, proper headway, get enough speed, and then every time I'm tacking, I'm losing my grounds because of the currents, very strong currents around here. And so we just keep pushing, and we're discussing maybe getting a tow sorted out. So I would, hop on Papa D's boat and tie my boat to it and drag it home, which is also fairly complicated, but also an interesting maneuver for anybody to practice if you're ever sailing solo on your boat or in groups and there's other boats. It's a good skill to have. Yeah, there's a bit of seas. Wind is being a bit unpredictable. It picks, it drops. It's one of those beautiful days to be out there. Weather is pretty mild. Water is pretty good. I don't think either of us are wearing any wetsuits, and we continue. Here we are discussing how we can tie my boat to his, even though I'm ahead of him. Anyways, just a bunch of risky, close maneuvers, having a good time, being careful and mindful. But it's fairly unpredictable, and it doesn't take long before we end up having to get into our rescue. So all it took, and I don't know why I was in slow-mo here, but all it took was a gust, and Papa D ended up capsizing solo. And don't forget, he's got gear attached to his trampoline, and if anybody's ever tried to ride up a Hobie that's got gear on the trampoline, it doesn't have to be very heavy to make things fairly complicated. I'm giving here a bit of time, seeing whether he's got enough weight. And don't forget, I'm just under my jib here, trying to navigate, negotiate tack or jibe, and it looks like he doesn't have enough weight. And so the maneuver here is that I'm gonna go to his boat. I'm gonna throw him a rope. We're gonna fasten my boat to his and let mine loose. I'm gonna get onto his hull, and we gotta place things accordingly so that once the boat is straightened out, they don't hit each other, they don't capsize on the other side. Now we all are aware of riding bags, and we have actually got a whole other video of Papa D putting a riding bag to use. I think that this incident was a bit of a move for him to experiment with that, because as we know, when you're sailing solo, there's nothing worse than capsizing and not being able to straighten your boat out. So, let you watch some of this footage here. And again, I apologize with the quality, but it was very difficult to kind of do everything here. But it is a valuable way to deal with this. We are in tricky waters here. It's pretty calm, thank God. And like I say, we have done this in much worse condition with way more gear on Papa D's trampoline, to the point that he actually had to go and remove and swim his gear onto my boat. That was on a multi-day expedition. But anyways, I'll let you watch here. It's a bit self-explanatory what we are trying to do and how we're trying to do it. And then we'll come back and take a look at our towing attempts.
Okay.
We have to tie this to something, though.
So we're going to tie this to your
Dolphin striker?
No, your center, your crossbeam.
Okay. Around all this other shit. This was where it was hard to get off, though.
All the lead that I've gotten now, I'm just drifting back out.
Oh, I know. This is what we were doing last night on the paddle. Okay.
Okay, so Drew's got what kind of knot you got there?
That is a fire department issue. Bowling.
All right, got a bowling now. Is this rope long enough? Is the question.
To not get smacked. Ooh, we got it right now. We're good to the wind if we can do this.
All right. So the next part is we're gonna try to straighten this out. As you can see, Drew's got his weight on and the whole thing. I'm gonna go to the rescue because that's what I came here for.
How am I supposed to rescue you?
No, I mean to the rescue, like right now, right? I'm gonna go this way for a change. Does this work?
You're taping this? Jesus Christ, this is so serious.
This is not working. All right. So it looks like I gotta actually turn around, which is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna come around this way. All right. And that, folks, is how you straighten out a couple of boats. Are your sails off cleat? All right, letting go of this. Oh, that's an interesting maneuver. What is she doing there, eh? Wait. Yeah, I'm not liking that though. She's just lining up herself to go.
Yeah, just, you got the knife is in my tail pocket there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
On the rope. I'm in the water.
I'm in the water too.
Okay, get up.
I'm worried that once we land though.
Watch my boat, watch my boat. I got hold of it here with my hand.
Okay, folks. Where are we? Still filming. 4 minutes, 54 seconds later.
Cinematographer. That beats our other time by
And so I think you all get the gist of the maneuver here. I'm sure we're not the first one who have done this, but it is an important rescue for anybody who works with the Hobies. Typically, we usually do this with a 50-foot rope, but we ended up losing that rope early on in the maneuver. I kind of lost it, and I think it sank right away. But so I ended up using my riding line. That's how we have tethered the two boats together. But the riding lines are pretty short, as you can see. My boat's right there. And now we're just gonna try different variables in terms of towing, because with my boat I just can't make headways, and so we're gonna try this. Unfortunately my batteries are running out, so we don't get to see the end of these adventures and shenaniganeries. But we just continue. It's complicated. Towing Hobies is complicated, specifically with other Hobies.
So yeah, once you pull it in, okay. What? I'm just trying to film, man.
Yeah, you got your glasses on.
Okay, so you hold that end, you give me more loose. Folks, I'm gonna let go of the camera. Why are you going backwards? Yeah, now pull your rudders the other way.
Anyways, maybe you have experienced this before. We ended up doing a bunch of variables. Me on my boat, me on his boat, rudders up, rudders down, with the sail tucked in, etc., etc. Very complicated. It would very much alter the course of the leading boat, and not a system you want to rely on, towing Hobies. But if you do have any insights, please put them at the bottom in the comments. It would be greatly appreciated if you have any thoughts, if you have done similar things, and looking at how we can improve on these rescue type of maneuvers. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, and share. And we look forward to having you on board our adventures again. Papa D and Matt J are out.
After many different attempts of sorts. Rudders on the boat being towed are down, which it hasn't proven problematic so far, but we will see what comes out of it shortly.